You might already be using intermittent fasting with your diet. In this video, we're going to show you how to add a fat fast to that intermittent fasting to accelerate your results or just get yourself back on track after a bad weekend. Hi, I'm Dr. Becky. I'm a college instructor of the Science of Nutrition.
And I'm Dr. Keith. I'm a chiropractor in private practice for the past 26 years, and you're watching Two Fit Docs, where we turn weight loss resistance into weight loss results.
And real quickly, if you follow along with our YouTube channel here, you know that we have watched this guy shrink in front of your eyes. He 2 weeks ago reached his weight loss goal by losing, what was it, 69 pounds?
69 pounds.
In like less than 8 months.
Yeah.
And we've now shifted gears to increasing muscle. Just going to give a quick progress report. Everything doing good?
Everything's right on track,
Awesome.
and we will do, next week is the 36-week mark. That's typically when I do my body composition measurement. So we'll have numbers
Yes.
to talk about next week.
Awesome, great. So we'll keep our focus this time on intermittent fasting and adding a fat fast. So can you explain what a fat fast is?
Sure. So a fat fast is basically taking the food you're going to eat for the day and making sure that they are all a very high fat, 95% or more
Right.
fat, and that is all you're taking in during that day.
Right. So basically a fat fast is what it is, right? So you are eating nothing but fat for the most part. You can have up to 5% of your calories come from a combination of proteins and carbs. That's not a lot of
Not
grams.
very much.
Okay. So in other words, if you want to do this, you're going to have to be concentrating on pure fat items, butters, coconut oil, heavy whipping cream, MCT oil. If you're trying to do this and snack on nuts or seeds all day, well, they have carbs, right? And you're going to and protein. Right. So you're going to go over on that limit. So why don't you explain why you have used this?
So typically I've used it, I do intermittent fasting quite a bit. It also goes by time restricted eating, right?
Yep.
So you're only eating during a certain window of the day. But a fat fast I found personally is that if I have a little hiccup in my diet, either I've had a cheat day or maybe I got some hidden carbs or something that I wasn't aware of that kind of kicks me out of ketosis, I will use a fat fast to kind of help kick my body back into gear, in that fat burning gear, and get myself back to ketosis.
Right, so that's a good point, right? So you have created your very low carb diet into a ketogenic diet, right? So it's a high fat, very low carb, moderate protein, and a good amount of fiber. That is your diet.
Yep.
So you get yourself into ketosis. If you are just starting on a ketogenic diet or you are struggling to stay in ketosis, a fat fast is a great way to do that. So what happens with your insulin then when you're on a fat fast?
Well, so because you're getting 95% of your calories and nutrients from the fat and a very small amount from protein and carbs, both of which would spike insulin a little bit if they were higher percentage, your insulin stays low, which means that you're not getting the big swing in energy level going up, energy level dropping. The fat give you the energy that you need for your day, but they keep everything very level.
Right. So when you keep your insulin low, well, your body's not storing fat, so fat is able to be released.
Right.
And I like what you said about energy. A fat fast, you could kind of compare that to a water fast, right? A water fast basically being that you don't eat at all. Well, you're really getting as far as your body's metabolism is concerned, you're getting very similar results because you are not influencing your insulin at all, which is the fat storing hormone. But the advantage of a fat fast over a water fast is that you do not have that dramatic drop in energy because you are feeding your body energy.
That's right.
Okay. So explain to people what exactly you have eaten on fat fasting days.
Okay. So what I do, and I'll typically do this just for one day at a time, and you could possibly do this for a few days, but your macronutrient ratios are so skewed. I don't think you want to do it for too long.
I agree. We've seen the research out there that they've done this for a few days, even to a few weeks, we have not experimented with that, and I don't know that we really recommend that.
And at the point where I'm trying to do some things or building some muscle,
Right.
I don't want to go too long without having those other nutrients.
Absolutely.
But what I would typically do, I already do intermittent fasting, so I just add the fat fast into that. Around noontime, I will have a keto coffee, and if you've ever had one of those, it's just coffee, 20 ounces of coffee, a tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of MCT oil. I like the heavy cream, so I put 3 tablespoons of that in.
Okay.
You whip it up and blend it, and boy, it's just really, really yummy. And I'll sip on that, so start that around noon, and then I might have another one of those later in the day, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And this is actually on a day that I'm pretty busy. I don't do this on a day where I'm just going to be sitting around, reading or lounging and things, because I find that it's better for me if I'm not eating meals, if I'm not thinking about that, I'm
Keep
not
your
eating
mind
meals.
occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're drinking basically 2 of those coffees within probably about a 6-hour window. So that's your intermittent fasting
Right.
plus fat fast. But yet your hunger is fairly under control because fats are very hunger
Oh, yeah.
satisfying.
Very
Switch
good.
on the hormones that we need to keep our hunger under control.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. Just hopefully another tip that we can pass along to you about how you can keep your results going by using a fat fast. As always, you know what, we have, if you're just getting started, you want to know how Keith has gotten to this point where he's lost all this weight, we do have a starter kit available that shows the foods he added and subtracted from his diet. You can download that from our video.
And make sure to subscribe. Watch our videos, follow along. You want to check in next week, see what the progress reports, make sure that I'm still on track. Don't be afraid to hold my feet to the fire too. And
Yeah.
if there's something that you want to ask us questions about or know more about, please add something in the comments.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.